Hello. Hey. Hello, people of the internet. It's your boy, Skinny Penis. We're approaching the end. It's Jinan is left. I think that is the last surface ship that I personally own, apart from the French destroyers, which will be the end, I guess, of the tier 10 ship coverage, I guess. Uh, yeah, it's like the last ship that I own. Sadly, or like, not sadly, but I probably, or I won't cover more carriers. I think it's fairly obvious that carriers are completely dislodged from the actual gameplay and are a broken, overpowered class of their own. And I don't really feel like going into the different kind of armament tips and tricks on every carrier, how to grief people properly with different carriers. So yeah, this one being the Yinan, I have a random replay review on it where I had a very good game where I hit a lot of torps, which happens sometimes, you know. Especially if there's a lot of BBs that are either, like, let's say stationary or roaming around inside your torpedo range or just straight up push into you. That's obviously the biggest torpedo threat in World of Warships at the moment. The only one that's competing with it soon is the Kunming. I mean, there's no ship that shits more torps than a Yinan, which is kind of the gimmick of it. But also, since I mentioned it already in the other video, you have to... Essentially, the enemy team has to play in a specific way, otherwise you're kind of useless. The enemy team has to play medium to close range, or they have to push. If they kite in base, your ship is toxically useless, and there's essentially no point in playing it in the first place. But it's one of the ships where showing your presence alone is already a lot of game impact because of the obviously psychological warfare you're doing. Most BBs turn literally off spawn on your flank, or turn into spawn on your flank the moment you're spotted, because they know by now that this ship sends so many torps that it's kind of like unplayable. Like you can't play into it. Yugumo is about to kill himself, I guess. Yeah, the guy about to commit Sudoku. Trying to reach a rock here to use my main guns. That's like the thing with Yinan. Certain games you don't really need the torpedo hits, like on maps like this one here, you know, where you have lots of islands to cover yourself with. You can play close around the islands. It's a very good ship in general. Like the DPM is something that really works. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, the guy died. Okay. The DPM is something that people have to care for. It's definitely not to be completely ignored. Your fire starting capabilities are quite crazy in close ranges, and also, I mean, the server's lagging like shit. Dude, really? Look at how every single ship is buffering. Wow, amazing. I'm not uploading a video in the background, by the way, so this is like actually the server just spurging out completely. If you can play close with your smokes, I mean, this kind of matchmaking, as you saw, there is barely any radar. There is actually no radar at all, I think. So you're fairly free to play close to the enemy and get your... Oh shit, dude. There's a bunch of people in the middle of the map. You can play fairly close with your guns and actually get some nasty DPM in on the enemy. Nice to have, I guess. Nice to have. Already did a ton of DD damage. I don't want to take that fire. Torping the turpits in case he turns in. I should have torped earlier, but I was more concerned about the Sherman in the middle. Is it a division? No, it's not. Okay, that guy ended himself, sadly. Sherman spotted me for a brief amount of time. I don't have a smoke yet. It's a bit sus to open up here. Gonna wait the 40 seconds for the next smoke. Try to lob the island. No, it doesn't work. I think I'm playing torpedo reload mod given the dispersion I'm getting. as a CA, it's not worth it really to get... On this kind of map, it's like a bit sus to just play the ship around the torpedoes. I mean, on Jinan, you gotta realize when it's time to play the ship for torps, positioning-wise, and when it's time to play the ship for the guns, positioning-wise. That definitely is very important to understand. Here it's definitely a more gun-focused approach because of the islands and the nature of the map itself. The islands don't only allow you to be closer to shoot people, they also... Is he gonna sit to me? No. They don't only allow you to play closer and safer, but they also mean that the enemy team has an easier time dodging your torpedoes, so it's just a timing festival. Like, you either get the timing before the enemy reaches islands or goes behind islands, or you don't. And generally speaking, the gun power here is something that you should go for. Still blinding me. It's a bit sus. Will I? Once again, you are a... Fuck, okay. I don't want to eat those torps, really. I would also like to get a fire on this guy. Thank you very much, game, giving me that fire. Maybe I hit the submarine here. I'm not 100% on that one. The submarine is a big threat here for me, by the way. Put a fire on the Minnesota. If he shoots, I might actually push out open water against him. Okay, he shot back turrets. I think I'll move up. Gun him open water. That big of a threat, to be honest. Depending on if he plays fire prevention or not, I will be able to make like really swift work of him. Yeah, they even buffed the gun DPM on it, which is quite nice. Okay, well that's bad. I mean, I don't know how I'm not hitting this guy with the torpedoes. Fuck you. Hello? Can I DCP? Thank you very much. Game. Fuck me, dude. Oh, yikes, dude. So unless this guy gets a double citadel or some shit through the nose, which is definitely a feasible... Ah, no he didn't, okay. I'm popping my second last smoke here just to stay alive. I want to get more heals. Want to kill him because it essentially... And I want to kill him and then I want to be alive for the enemy team repushing the middle, kind of. And I get enough time here, I think, to spam him before he leaves my range. He's a very fat, large and stupid battleship. Hopefully he doesn't go dark, but I don't think he can, so that's pretty good. Just gonna spam him to death. Hopefully he isn't blind firing me. He is blind firing me. Maybe I actually move out of the smoke already. A wee bit of a clown show here with him blind firing. Okay, he's dead. It's very nice. Okay, now we can go into the middle. We're already on 139k damage. As you can see, the gun DPM definitely allows you to do a bunch of damage if you get close to them. And sadly, we didn't have a torpedo hit here. Maybe the second game will be a situation where we are open water on a flank and people start pushing into us. I mean, sure, that can happen. Question is now, do we farm the Illinois when he moves in, or do we go for the North Carolina? I think the North Carolina is turning out, so we can use the island here to shoot the Illinois when he makes it into our range. I said it in the other Jinan video as well. The Jinan, while it looks like an Austin and the guns look like Austin guns, it doesn't get the improved Austin arcs, or like the Sherman ones, Austin ones, where your arcs are actually quite cracked. And you can easily hit targets at 15 km. The Jinan arcs are fairly floaty. Still better than the DD ones, like the American DD ones, Gearing, Fletcher, whatever not. But also not as good as Austin. So personally, for example, I run reload mod. I also think that reload mod is generally more usable. Spamming from more than 14 kilometers isn't really the play on this one, my opinion. You gotta be careful against ships like, for example, Shikishima in this game. Thankfully, he was on the other side of the map. Same fate as Sejong, same fate as Austin. Really, with this ship, if 32mm overmatch is in the game, you gotta be really careful against these people, since they overmatch your entire ship plus Citadel deck and stuff, or Citadel side plating even, I think. So yeah, you gotta be really careful there. I can send my torps out maybe now and actually get some torpedo hits if the North Carolina decides to repush. But I mean, torping kiting targets in their ship isn't really the go-to play. You won't really achieve a whole lot with that. Good thing though that it gets half decent concealment, like it's not the worst. I'm actually gonna reload to boost this. And send all my torpedoes hoping that he turns in. Oh, he's on triple fire. I don't think it's perma though. I think he's turning in, so we pop the smoke. Look at the torpedo wall I can send here, dude. That is quite amazing. But since he's going straight line, the Haaland will one-shot him with his torps, so there's no real... Ah, there you go. Random Citadel on the nose. That happens quite a lot on this ship. The Haaland is gonna one-shot him though with the torpedoes, because he's a pretty big bot. If the Haaland wouldn't have been here, I probably hit torpedoes myself, because I also had this side still open, so I could have killed him myself. Yeah, a bit unfortunate that there's not more damage to be had. Could have nearly gotten 200 here. Yeah, well, I mean, Jinan in general as a torpedo cruiser, it's easier to play and also nicer to play than something like a Yodo. It's the same thing as like Brisbane. Like if I just don't get the point why Yodo even exists. It's just so horseshit pointless. Jinan has better DPM, the smoke, and way better torps. Brisbane has the radar, also better DPM. I mean, even that one actually has like arguably way better torps, and yeah, like instead of playing a Yodo, you can play a Jinan, and if you don't have, or like if you want to play something better than a Jinan, still same gameplay, you play a Brisbane, where you actually get utility too. I mean, that's kind of like the downside on Jinan. You don't get hydro for your smokes, neither do you get radar. So you're like essentially just a damage dealer, a farmer, and a torpedo spammer. And yeah, it goes also into the same idea again as the torpedo boats were being on a flank and the enemy seeing you once or knowing that you're in the general area most likely makes the enemy play way more passive, which then gives you map control without you doing anything even. Like, that's actually pretty big. People underestimate how valuable staying alive actually is. You don't necessarily have to deal the damage in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes it's also just smart to deal the damage later on, or not. Sometimes you don't even have to deal the damage at all. For example, you can, in Raider Cruisers, obviously, if you press Y, you already get your game impact. It's not only game impact or capping that creates impact. It can also be just your utility or your ship in general and the psychological warfare you're bringing with it. We can quickly go into the spec again. I mean, on Jinan, sure, you could spec a bit more into guns. The guns are actually so small that this one doesn't give you the concealment malus, so you don't have a downside there. So sure, you could switch torp damage for that, but I like to, I mean, if I play Jinan, I kind of want to spam the torpedoes, so I go for this. It's not the most optimal build. Under most circumstances, you should probably change those to torpedo skills for fire and heavy HE. 10% more DPM, 1% more fire. That's quite nuts on this ship because it has such fast reload. Yeah, but as a torpedo, we're gonna have to slot the flags, man. As a torpedo deterrent, it's better to play it with full torp spec. Actually, I'm going to switch to the gun one here now. I don't really like the dispersion on it. But yeah, that's a normal spec. You can't really take anything else. I mean, sure, you could go Def A mod or Smoke Gem mod, but they don't really give you anything. Prop mod, concealment mod, and I personally prefer reload mod. Like the way I have spec'd it now, where it's like reload mod on the guns and you go torpedo on the captain, is kind of like an in-between thing, which is still very viable, because in certain situations, as I said, if the enemy team plays a certain way, you can really get incredible use out of your torps. And then also you have to think about the fact that if they push, you shit so many torps, they can go nose in, but they most likely still eat a torp, and then you can like smoke and kite and farm them immediately, so that's a nice synergy. But overall, the most effective build for damage output, like average damage, would be going full gun on captain and modules, and the most useless build would be to go full torpedo. Like full torp spec on cruisers isn't like really that smart, since torpedo DDs already have a hard time getting like a great game impact every single game with torpedoes, since it's such a situational armament, and like DDs are even more likely to get into situations where the torpedoes can fuck with people because of the concealment. So like a YY or a Shimmer fuck people way harder if they get into the broadside undetected or in the flank. Um, but on cruisers you're spotted more. People generally know about your direction. You can't just randomly run into the flank, flap broadside and torp from there. So not really the go-to. I mean, in general, if you go for specs in World of Warships, the idea should be generally to maximize the average game impact. So specs that completely specialize on one aspect of your gameplay obviously mean that in certain games you're going to be incredibly shit, and in other games where the situation is perfect, you're going to be incredibly cracked. Debatable if that is the way to go. Having a very balanced build on captain and command on captain and ship modules is probably the go-to, because the goal is to win as many games as possible. I mean, unless you're like 70% sort of win rate player and you shit out 200k average in lighthouse specs, then obviously be my guest to do that. If you like completely and utterly destroy everyone with your damage, you don't really need to bring the utility, I guess. Problem just is that most people are unable to perform in these kind of specs. That would be the same as a torpedo Jinan, where it's like, I guess if you don't hit your torps or you get an unfortunate map, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, for example, this map, like, what would I do with a torpedo Jinan fully here? I would just literally cuck my gun damage even more if I wouldn't run the reload mod, right? And it's very unlikely I hit torpedoes. Early game or in general. Like the way you play this map, for example, here again with a lot of islands, it's kind of unfortunate that we got shards and this one, because it only shows that you can really, or how you really get use out of your main guns. Well, I can torpedo here though. Kick. Also gonna pop reload boost immediately. You just get to like farm people here now. And I mean, there is no radar on me for now. Pretty good. I am spotted though, which is shit. One aiming for me. Don't know from where I'm spotted, but I would assume it's the DD on the right. They have two. One radar isn't here. That's good. What are the DDs? A Haaland and a Shimmer. Well, I mean, I sure should assure you that whatever DD it is, he's gonna torp the smoke in 2 seconds. And I don't really have the torpedo. Like, torpedoes are something you really hate. You don't have a torpedo belt. You don't have HP, so eating torpedoes is kind of a GG moment for you. But I am angled towards the flank with my nose, so I guess I can... That's shit. Ah, okay, the Salem is on a rock here somewhere. Means I am spotted. Oh, the Smolensk is to my torps! Well, I mean, Smolensk has kind of the same issue as I do. Oh, the Malta is coming for me. Well, that might be a very quick game, dude. He might just 20k me here, to be honest. Nothing I can really do. Yeah, well, it's it. Wow. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Yeah, well, I mean, That's, by the way, something really funny about World of Warships now. Malta being in the game. He gets a full drop again, even though I have Def A up. I'm dead. No, I'm not. Oh, he got very unlucky there. Only 2 bombs, 2 sits. That could have been worse. Man, that position would have been really cracked because I could have farmed all those BBs the entire time, but sadly the Salem is in the middle of the map. I won't have my smoke up for the next bomb. Please drop a fighter. Please, please, drop a fighter. Oh, he can't. He already popped it behind me. I don't have Def A, I don't have smoke up for the next drop, so he's just gonna come again and fuck me over. I mean, okay, the Haaland is on the flank. Those are definitely Haaland torps. Oh, yeah, sure. 20 seconds on the smoke, so... I mean, maybe I can use the island a bit to fuck his drop pattern. Yeah, well. At least I two-shot the smolli. Smolli doesn't have HP or torpedo protection either, so that's kinda good. Come on, give me the smoke, give me the smoke. No. I'm dead though, so... Nothing you can really do. Adios, guys. I live again, and now I have a smoke. So much for AA Cruiser, by the way. He's actually gonna kill me blind. Oh no, no. Cringe. I mean, for now I am... Oh, is he blinding me to death? Nah, he doesn't hit that. Can't lob it. Well, I mean, I will live for another Salem Raider, because when the Salem Raiders again, I will be spotted again, so that's when I die. I can't peek out front anyways, because there's an AFK Haaland on the flank. Kinda shit. Amazing gameplay, huh? It's really nice what carriers provide to this, Is he gonna blind me? Nah, he's going for the Petro now. And supposedly my A is really good, but it doesn't look like it, because Malta just has too much plane HP, which is the problem, really. I guess we're just perma stuck on this fucking island now. Yeah, eat shit, loser. I shouldn't have popped FA, I guess, because the next fucking shitty ass squad is gonna go for me again. But I yeeted 2 AP bomb squads, so now it's like torpedo time. The problem is just that the full squads have too much HP. Like, if he drops me here, he can just fly through my AA into an angle where he can drop me, and I can't do anything about it. Yeah, that sucks dick, dude. I mean, it would be good if my carrier wouldn't place the fucking fighters in the base, cause fucking brain damaged retard. Swear to God, what the fuck are you doing, dude? What the fuck are you doing, man? Salem is raidering me. Guy's coming in with rockets. Oh, but I got a heal, so the rockets won't kill me. That's pretty good. Only the torpedoes could have immediately finished me off. Got a heal again. Nice little island camp adventure. Yeah, I don't get the point of fucking Malta introduction to the game, to be honest. I have no clue why this is a thing. The Schlieffen is probably deep on the flank already, trying to cuck me. Would be good if I get a... into a smoke. Salem? I mean, the Salem Raider will be out, so I can probably reverse out here. They won't see that move coming, I hope. And there is even deeper into base now. Okay, I'm unspotted. Okay, we have the carrier coming in again. Are you trying to go for me? Oh my god, the Haaland is super deep in our base. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Actually, I'll have to fight the people in front with the Schlieffen coming in like this. Yeah, for sure. I have to fight that. Can't reverse. Doesn't really give me anything here. Will he blind me? Obviously he will blind me. I mean, I have nice AR though. Until he hits the one shell citadel blind and I'm dead. Okay. Okay, that is really bad now. No, don't citadel me! Okay, I'm reversed behind the island fast enough. They're all really hardcore interested in blinding me out here. Quite nuts. To be brutally honest. Oh. Well, I mean, that is a wee bit unfortunate. Yeah, well, yeah, that is a wee bit unfortunate. I may or may not be very stuck on this rock. He's blinding me. Okay, that's good, because if he misses that blind, which is very likely, I live. Because he goes behind the island. He comes with the bombers again, man. It's really amazing, eh? He kills me this time, huh? Maybe I get my torpedoes out. I'm going for the broadside, though that doesn't really mean that I'm negating. No, I'm dead. Wow, I mean, I made 104k happen here. The enemy team also really looks like they're losing. I got like they lost a lot of HP trying to dislodge me from the stupid rock, but I mean, the carrier essentially solo killed me. There's so much more I could do if the carrier wouldn't come for me, or wouldn't do so much damage to me. But I mean, I guess Wargaming really wants to include these kind of ships into World of Warships now. There is supposedly originally the light cruiser role of giving heavy anti-air cover to, like a Colbert, a Smolensk, a Jinan, an Austin, whatever not, and now they introduced Malta with 45k base HP on the fucking bombers, so they essentially, if they know how to dodge a bit of flak, they always get drops through. And yeah, they can essentially just one-shot you if they're lucky. It's just an RNG shit fiesta. I mean, the potential drop of a Malta is like 30-40k sometimes. They can do that, it's very unlikely, but like a 15 to 20k hit on these light cruisers is very common, and I mean, I don't have the HP to tank that more than like twice. Also, additionally, it's citadel damage, which means I can't really heal lots of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just cancerous. The game design there just hilariously flawed and stupid, and yeah. The Haaland, by the way, in the enemy team isn't spotted at all. Very cringe person. And yeah, I mean, it helped a bit that I sent torpedoes out, and obviously if you don't have hydro up or some shit, or you eat just, I mean, you can go nose in against those torps, you might still eat 2 or 3, really, because it's like 20 torps at least coming for you if I pop a reload booster, sometimes even 40 if I turn circles. So yeah, the smolli just had to eat 2 and he was dead. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, the enemy team is horribly losing because they spurged out a bit hard on me on on the rock, kind of blocked them, and I ended up with 104k damage and like bunch of plane kills. Well, cool, bro. I am really enjoying World of Warplanes 2.0. Since I missed the original World of Warplanes, it's very nice that they create this kind of hybrid game here in World of Warships where we get planes every single time. In any case, I don't think there's anything else to talk about. You can play it around island, you can play it open water. Sadly, we got 2 maps that were very island focused, so you didn't get to see the torpedo gameplay. But if you want to see how you can like deny complete areas with torpedoes, then I advise you to go for the replay review I did on it, where I also talked about the weird kind of balancing that it has. Going for it. And yeah, see you for the next video and the last ones in the series for the tier 10 ships.